Nigeria is a country where corruption thrives in every system. In a country where leaders should be showing true courage by fighting it, the leaders in Nigeria feed off corruption. They enjoy it and do so at the expense of millions of Nigerians. If you're in doubt, think about the name General Sani Abacha. That's the late military president of Nigeria. Considering the number of times Abacha's name has been linked to funds returned to Nigeria, you may forgive yourself for thinking the man is some sort of Father Christmas. But no, Abacha looted Nigeria dry, and 24 years after his death, only about $3.65 billion have been recovered so far. In the early 2000s, former President Olusegun Obasanjo's administration gained notoriety for being highly corrupt despite the formation of an anti-graft agency to fight the scourge. For instance, former governor during the Obasanjo administration, James Ibori, once admitted stealing money from Delta State and laundering it in London through a number of offshore companies. The stolen funds laundered through the United Kingdom alone was almost hitting at $79 million and considered only a fraction of total embezzlement that could exceed $250 million. Fast forward to 2023 with Bola Ahmed TINUBU with a series of checkered corruption allegations hanging loose over his head taking charge as president of Nigeria. Many are asking, does he possess the gravitas to fight corruption? After this clip, your guess may be as good as mine. Welcome to a fresh video on Info Bus Stop YouTube channel. Please ensure you like this video and subscribe. You can keep the notification on so you won't miss subsequent episodes, and make sure you share with friends and family. If you want a graphic description of Nigeria's corruption problem, you'll find the opinion of writer Ebenezer Obadare useful, where he says, Nigeria's endemic corruption is the country's greatest challenge to stability despite anti-graft efforts from the government, which raises questions about the Nigerian institution's ability to tackle corruption. When former President Muhammadu Buhari took charge, many believed it would substantially decimate corruption. Unfortunately, at the end of his tenure in May 29, 2023, there was little to doubt that corruption had been unshaken by the persona or erstwhile reputation of the old Buhari. In fact, under Buhari's administration, Nigeria ranked 136th in 2015 and 2016, 148th in 2017, 146th in 2019, and 149th in 2020 on the Corruption Perception Index ranking. In 2021, things went from bad to worse as Nigeria's Corruption Perception Index ranking dropped from 149th to 154th place among 180 countries and 150 in 2022. Since Buhari left power, the magnitude of corruption has reached ominous heights, with corruption allegations punching left and right through the Ministry of Power, Ministry of Petroleum, Ministry of Justice and Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, and even the Central Bank of Nigeria. Since Buhari was succeeded by President Bola Tinubu, a prominent figure in the country's political landscape, there's been pretty little enthusiasm around the fight against corruption in view of Tinubu's own courting of several controversies. Even Tinubu did not stir any hope about fighting corruption in his inaugural speech. The only reference the president made in his inaugural speech to corruption was that the government will continue to take proactive steps, such as championing a credit culture to discourage corruption, while strengthening the effectiveness and efficiency of the various anti-corruption agencies. In the past, Tinubu has been knocked with various allegations, including unproven claims of drug trafficking, and now, his ability to fight corruption has been a subject of intense scrutiny and debate. As the President of Nigeria, it is essential to evaluate his track record and the allegations of corruption that has been linked to him. Allegation of corruption against Tinubu. Alpha Beta. One of the most prominent corruption allegations against Tinubu is his involvement with the Alpha Beta consulting firm. Alpha Beta is a consulting firm that allegedly handles tax collections for the Lagos state government as far back as Tinubu's term as governor. It has been accused of siphoning off a significant portion of tax revenue, diverting billions of naira in revenue from the Lagos state government. Although TINUBU denies direct ownership, the company's founders are believed to be his close associates. Recall that a former managing director of Alpha Beta, Dakpo Akpara, had in a 40-page write of summons revealed how TINUBU used one Adegboyega Oyetola, believed to be the former governor of Osun State, as a front for the establishment of the firm. The same position also indicted a former commissioner in Lagos State, Akin Dorothy, who is considered a close associate of TINUBU. Till date, the facts of the case have not been revealed. Unfortunately, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has been lethargic about prosecuting this case till Dayo Akpara opted for an out-of-court settlement. Dubious wealth accumulation. Another instance that raises suspicions is TINUBU's wealth accumulation. He has amassed considerable wealth and controls several assets, which some believe cannot be fully accounted for through legitimate means alone. Recall that TINUBU claimed he got his wealth from money saved from pay while working with oil giant Mobil in the late 1980s as a treasurer. But in a BBC interview before the elections, TINUBU claimed he became wealthy through real estate and other investments. He is quoted as saying, "Are there enemies of wealth? If they are not enemies of wealth, investments do yield." I have an example of Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in America and the world. He started with stock buying and brokerage. I inherited great real estate. I turned the values around. I am not denying my wealth. I was the most investigated, the most accused governor in a position for 8 years up to 2007. Since I left office, I am still there. I have not taken a government appointment, no government contract, he said. When asked about allegations of getting from Lagos State Revenue, TINUBU claimed that the records of the state have been investigated by the International Monetary Fund, IMF. Regardless, there is an air of suspicion around the legitimacy of TINUBU's wealth, and the lack of transparency has led to allegations of corruption and financial impropriety. The Daily Beast published on April 27, 2015, makes a compelling case which I shall quote. Former Lagos Provincial Governor Bola Tinubu, affectionately nicknamed the Jagaban, is today seen as a shrewd, if not deeply Machiavellian Svengali in Nigeria's politics, as well as the architect of a hugely successful anti-corruption platform. But 20 years ago, he had to forfeit nearly $500,000 to the US Treasury Department after being named as an accomplice in a white heroin trafficking and money laundering ring that stretched from West Africa to the US Midwest. At the time, Tinubu's take-home as a Mobil Oil Nigeria executive was a mere $2,400 a month, and he claimed not to have any other revenue streams. Yet, he still managed to deposit $661,000 into his individual money market account in 1990, and then another $1,216,500 a year later. He also opened more accounts with Citibank in its worldwide personal banking unit, transferring over $500,000 from his first Heritage Money Market account into one of them in early 1991. Tinubu has also faced unproven allegations of involvement in drug trafficking, tarnishing his reputation and raising questions about his integrity. It is important to note that he has never been convicted, but journalist David Hundain about a year ago also presented overwhelming evidence of Tinubu's drug trafficking past in an article titled Bola Tinubu, From Drug Lord to Presidential Candidate. Several corruption allegations remain linked to Tinubu. Many may yet remain unproven, or he may as well have perfected his escape from conviction. Since assuming the presidency, Tinubu has quickly suspended and ordered a probe of the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, and chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Abdul Rashid Bawa. The arrest of both men, considered highly corrupt, has been positively viewed by Nigerians. However, given the allegations and controversy surrounding Tinubu, it is difficult to ascertain whether he possesses the determination and integrity to effectively fight corruption. While his inaugural speech alluded very briefly to proactive measures against corruption, the lack of concrete actions and transparency in addressing the allegations against him raised doubts. Only time will tell whether Tinubu can rise above the controversies and prove himself capable of the formidable task of combating corruption in Nigeria. But the big question remains, can Tinubu fight corruption? Please, we look forward to your response in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to give this a like, share with friends and family, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and notification bell to keep you updated for more videos like this one. Until next time, keep it locked.